Are we doing 2 minutes for people to just walk up and walk in? Yeah, I will wait for a moment. Just to give you an introduction, many people on this conference are speaking that AI will not replace you as a testers and in other roles. I will try to be a devil's advocate. Like, I will give you an examples why it might replace you. And from the other perspective, I will show you examples why some companies don't use AI in a way that you could think about using it. Starting from the beginning, so why the idea for this presentation? I work at the company, it's called Viessmann, or it was called Viessmann till last week. We build HVAC solutions. We've got a factory in Manisa in Turkey, where we build combustion products. And we got bought like a few months ago by American company. And basically I see a totally different approach to the AI between like Germans and Americans, and I got like my managers from both sides. And also I had an opportunity to work with different AI supporting test automation solution providers, let's call it this complicated way, when they say AI will automate everything. And they promise that it will work superb and everything will be great. So I can give you an example. I worked for the last year on an application that I tried to implement fully by AI. And at some point I decided that I would like the AI to write test cases based on a code that this AI has produced. So basically the AI can refactor every function in that code, but if I ask the AI to write like a human level test steps, but not like having an idea about the title of the application, but by reviewing the code itself, like most of the chatbots cannot handle that. They can implement automated tests, but they cannot write like BDD level, high level scenarios. And where I believe we are right now, so based on my leadership team expectations, I would say we are at the peak of AI will solve everything. Like half, in Poland, where I'm from, like half of the startups that currently are growing has AI in the title, just to get the investors. And there is a lot of people that think, yeah, AI will be the solution for all the problems that we have. We are building, like the companies are building data centers and they prepare like a huge usage of the electricity and everything to solve those ideas. But we are at the moment when first startups with AI in the name, with like huge money invested in it, are falling down. And I think there was like a graph how fast AI is growing, and the idea was that in like next 2 months, it will be more intelligent than all the humanity combined. Like if this graph would go further, and we already know that it's not gonna to happen. It's like the context is completely different. It has the capabilities which no human can have, for example, in searching for the data, or the size of the data it can analyze, but it's not like that you can compare like a human and the AI because all the tasks are the same or so similar. And where I got the inspiration for the talk, when I'm thinking about the AI, I look at the like ancient history, for example, like Greeks or Romans or any other culture. Like basically they had like limited knowledge, limited data, and they need to provide like solutions that were changing the whole environment that they were living in. Like basically the first guy that said that the earth was round, not flat, is like in ancient Greek. It's like then there was the Polish guy in the medieval that was proving that, yeah, it's actually round, and then the church was against it because the church believed it's still flat. But basically there is like limited data that is available for you, and then you need to make a decision. Like in my company, for example, there was a POC, I will talk about it in the details later, that somebody said, let's do AI-supported test automation. Just do a POC, decide which tool is the best, and we will use that tool. So I got like a very limited information, and then I need to justify like 10 tools when I got marketing team saying to me, it can do everything, and then I need to decide which one is the best. And for me, the critical thinking is something that we need, first of all, to make those decisions, and second of all, to keep our work relevant. Because if you will compare like the management expectations with what you do, half of the management, like very, very high level management, is expecting that AI will replace your work. Because that's the biggest saving they can achieve. And then the critical thinking that you can present to them is like showing the benefit of human factor in the work you are doing, showing them that AI can extend your capabilities but not replacing you, and then you can make them easier to provide justified decisions. And when you face this situation in your company, what I would suggest to do, that's my mistake, the number ones are because I didn't test the export from Google Slides to PowerPoint, remember about it. It doesn't export correctly. Yeah, but if there is any kind of situation, if you do like this, please remember to ask questions, to try to understand what is the problem that needs to be solved. If you are facing a team that tries to sell you any AI-supported solution, please ask them to provide you with the evidence. Not only saying it will automate everything, ask them what is everything. When I got the first team meeting me and they said it automates everything, and I said, okay, I got a gas boiler with the whole hydraulics and the electricity behind it. Will it also automate this? Like if I got a heat pump with water heating, will it automate the pouring in the water and will check if the water tank is full? And they said, no, it's hardware, it's not software. So I said, okay, so please tell me it automates everything in the software. Don't tell me it automates everything, because for me everything is the hardware, is if it's a combustion product, then it's moving the smoke outside of the building. Everything is everything, yeah? And then please double check the context, and then do an analysis of the risks and benefits. Because sometimes very funny results came out of it. Because when you start the investigation, for example, like we started the POC, we decided let's do some research. So we double check what are the AI solutions. And then you can go through Gartner, Magic Quadrants about the AI code assistants. Then you go conversational AI platforms. Like there's a bunch of them and they are at the different maturity level. Then you go to the generative AI engineering, and there is a different set of tools that you have available. Then you have AI in test automation, and then you find totally different tools. And then there is the marketing saying self-healing test scripts, mutation testing. There are so many buzzwords. And then when you ask them, what is a self-healing test script? Is it a test that basically, if it fails, it recognizes why it failed and it adapts? Because maybe sometimes it fails because the code was wrong and not the test case was wrong. And then you find out that you are just speaking with a salesperson that has no idea how the software is being built. And he says, no, it's like safe healing. So it double checks everything and it corrects the thing that needs to be corrected. And I said, so what's the reason? If it's the environment issue, it's not the code, it's not the test case, will it fix the environment? Will it fix like a hanging on the wall machine that I'm testing like a hardware in the loop? And then the guy says, I don't know. So it's a very complicated scenario. And there is a lot of pages like this. So usually when you search for anything related to AI, the first 5 pages of Google will be like comparison of the top 10 tools. And probably first 10 will be connected with one of those tools. And depending on which page you open, different tool wins. Because the blog that is comparing the tools is like sponsored by one of those companies. So it wins in their comparison. Like when I try to search, for example, something that can compare for me, Gemini, ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and Claude, in narrow situation, I'm only developing software in Swift 6.0. Then I see the whole bunch of pages saying about how great this size of context of this chatbot is great, how great is this chatbot, and all that stuff. And now none of the pages is saying that the cutoff of the knowledge base was before the Swift 6.0 was introduced. And all those chatbots work only according to the Swift 5.0. And you cannot find it. Like nobody compares which of the chatbot is better for Python and which is better for Java, which of them is better for Swift. They compare like size of context and they think that it solves everything. But it's not. Some of those chatbots are dedicated for different technologies and they achieve different results. Like Claude, for me, for my Swift project, is the best one. And I tried a lot of them and I do it for like 1.5 years already, and I'm moving from different version to different version. I'm sometimes downgrading to the older version because sometimes they introduce like I think it was in Cursor in one version, they introduced scripting. So basically my chatbot, every time there was a change in the code, it wasn't like directly changing the code, it was building a script to change the code. So basically, it broke down my project for 2 months, and I need to set up it again from scratch, and then start to implement with an older version of Cursor and older version of Claude, for example, to don't have the scripting capability until they turn off the scripting. Yeah, so that's the most complicated part. Like you need to find the set of arguments based on which you will compare those AI tools and how you will integrate them, how you will compare them against each other. The definition is very important because it will affect the results that you will achieve at the end. To give you an example, so this is an example of the carrier heat pump that we work with. The idea was the AI automation test generation that should be delivered. We got 2 POCs, we got access to all those tools, we got the management said, just base it on pricing and capabilities. What is the cheapest one with the best capabilities, we will try to use it. So we reduce the proposal to 2 different candidates. I think the final candidate that was the best for us was test rigor. And we thought that this will be the best solution for us. But we do the second POC. We double check everything from scratch. And we decided that we don't use any AI-supported test automation. The reason for that was that we found out that we as a company are not ready for using AI. Because when in the second POC, we already decided, okay, let's do it in test rigor. Let's don't do some generic checking of capabilities of test rigor for the AI-supported test automation, but let's double check how test rigor fits to our project. And we met first time with not the developers, not the test automation guys, but we investigated that the biggest problem for the leadership was that the manual testing was taking too long time. So that was the first moment when we included in the POC the manual test team, and we showed them test rigor, we showed them all the capabilities, and said, that's our solution for you. And then the manual tester said, okay, but 85% of the time that we spend on manual testing is the setup of the environment. That we need to connect with a proper product hanging on a wall. We need to flash the device, and then running the test is like half a minute. So we scratch our heads and said, okay, test trigger cannot do the test setup. And then the investment in implementing the test automation will be bigger than the benefit from running automated tests. And we just didn't use any tool at all. And this is something that can happen in your companies. This is something that might affect your teams, but then you need to sell it to the management. And then you go back to the management and said, okay, at the first POC, we said we want test rigor. Please reserve $500,000 of a yearly budget for it and everything. And then 2 weeks later, we say to you, okay, you can push that budget somewhere else. We don't use test rigor at all, and we will not use AI test automation. And then you need to show them that this is a benefit for them, not like a risk that they invest the money in the POC and then they don't have that AI automation and they fall behind against the competitors. Like, you need to show them that, no, everybody in our industry will not use it because AI test automation will not solve the devices on the wall. It will only work with like either software for the mobile apps or maybe a part of the embedded software, but nothing too complicated. And then it depends on you. If the AI will replace you, if it will be an extension for you, or if you stay in doing the stuff on the human side. What is the reason? When American management arrives on my company, they ask me about the number, how many % of the code is auto-generated by the AI. They doesn't care about any other metric. And we say 30%, and they said, oh, that's bad. In India, they do 65%. So we prefer their solution. And then we double-check the code base, and we see the prompts from ChatGPT and the responses being directly pushed to the Git. So then we say to them, why it's 80 or 65%? Why they don't tell you it's 100%? And they respond, because they say they need to write the prompt manually. Yeah, I said, yeah, but that's not, like this code then is in maintenance, like costing you 5 times the money. Please double check that. And this is the slide that I made basically on a plane here. So I heard a podcast that was recorded in US about their approach to enhance testing of not only testing, but working together with the chatbots, with the AI. And what they are doing in the US is something totally different that we do in Europe, for example. In Europe, the biggest benefits that most of the teams that I work with sees in cooperation with the AI is that they can read through the thinking mechanisms and they can learn from it. And that's the biggest benefit from it. And in the US, they turn it off because they feel it costs additional resources, and they feel like this way of writing the justification for the AI decision is making the AI less effective and less extreme. And they got like 2 studies that they did to prove it. So the first study was about autonomous cars, and it's like 80% higher probability is that the autonomous car will have a crash with a human-driven car than with other autonomous car. So if you totally remove the humans from the equation, it's the biggest efficiency that can be achieved. I think there was a moment when there was an idea in one of the countries in Scandinavia, but I don't remember which, that they wanted to build a separate highways for autonomous cars and don't interact the human-driven cars with autonomous cars. But I don't know what was the level that it achieved. There was also the idea that it will have like the lines to of the power grid above those highways, and there will be like autonomous trucks that will be loaded by electricity while driving through those highways. But the second thing that they did was that they were doing an AI POC in the diagnosis of a cancer, and there was like doctors, and there are some automated rules how they diagnose the patients, and they found out that the probability is somewhere between 78 to 80% of the correctness if doctor is doing all those analyses by himself, but it takes a lot more time. And then if they are enhanced by AI, then it raises to like 84, 85%. But when they remove the doctor fully from the equation, and they only ask AI to provide true-false result with no justification, with no descriptions behind it, it turns out that the result was 99.26%. And now they are running like a second level of the study, and they are double-checking if this difference between this 85% and this 99%, is it the difference on the AI behavior only, or there is a human factor in which the doctor who is reading the justification still thinks that he knows better than the AI. And sometimes he's overcritical over the proposal that is being given by the AI. But the problem that exists is this different culture. So still the guys in the US, they are only focused on the numbers. They don't focus on this justification and everything that is connected with it. And that's the risks that AI might replace you, but hopefully not. And because it depends on you. So if you will provide a justification to your leadership that it shouldn't replace you, that is the moment when you can save that job. I think there was also another study done as a trading model for the AI, and also the trading model when it has to justify every trading operation to the human, but human was not approving it. It was still fully automated approvals. And there was an AI which was not justifying the trading operations. This not justifying AI was twice more efficient in gaining benefits or earning money than the other one. And that's the reason why they feel that this whole thinking mechanisms is bad, because it removes the extreme situations which AI cannot describe to humans. And this way, many of the AI guys in America believe that at some point AI to be effective in implementing test automation or coding them itself, they will have to have their own programming language, which will be totally not readable for developers and testers. That's the idea that they think about for the future. So please double check those red flags. If you meet with some marketing team, salesman from the AI tools provider. I will put the slides on my LinkedIn somewhere in the evening, so everybody, if somebody has a link to my LinkedIn, then you can invite me or just double check my page and the slides will be available for you. Yeah. For me, the easiest way to have a successful integration is just start small with some POC and then grow bigger. And then do the health check at every step. Try if it's still, the growing of the AI tool is still giving you additional benefits. Sometimes at the first step, the benefit is like 90%. And then at some steps, it's like 1% per month of investment. And that's the moment when you can maybe stop the AI expansion or a solution. Please be critical to the AI ideas, both from your management, from your teams, like developers or testers, from external experts, from media, what you're reading on, from podcasts or everything. There is a lot of interest made out of AI. There is a lot of startups that grow high, they are being sold, and then they disappear. You can double check. I think it will give you the number before the AI revolution, but if you double check like a page, graveyard of Google applications, you will see how many applications there was made by Google which are not existing anymore. But there was a guy that was promoted and he became like a high-level manager and the tool is not there anymore. I know recently Google was presenting on a conference last week a new Google Glass. Like if somebody will double check the history of Google, you can see how many times they were already presenting Google Glasses. and now they provide a new Google Glass with new capabilities. And maybe in 5 years will don't exist anymore. Like I think last year or half a year ago, there was a revolution about Meta glasses. Like every podcasters were using them. And it's some moment it disappeared and nobody remembers about it. Now it's Google Glass. Probably it will survive like half a year and there will be something different. Like everybody, I feel like in the US everybody is waiting for the Neuralink, and that's the big tool that they wait to play with, but it's very, very complicated. Here is the QR code. If you scan it, it directly moves you to my LinkedIn, so then you can send me an invite or observe myself, then I will put the slide deck in the evening or tomorrow morning. Thank you for the invitation, and I hope you will have a nice conference.
Thank you also.
Thank you.
Is there any question?
Yeah, do you have, maybe we have a time for one or two questions. Anybody?
No question? Okay, no.
Then thank you very much.
Now we would like to thank Mike Buczko for his presentation again.